Modern Homo sapiens have ventured into uncharted territory, but it seems we've lost our way. We've evolved into a highly intelligent species, but become victims of our own success. There's this constant nagging feeling that something is missing, so we strive forwards, hunting for answers and gathering stuff. We've reached an impressive 8 billion of us across the globe, but 1 in 4 of us are lonely, and multitudes of people are struggling with their mental health. So many people need a friend. And meanwhile, the planet is also suffering, raging in response to our discontent and disorientation, crying out for our attention. The planet needs a friend too. So why aren't we making friends? Well, what if I shared with you today that this void we sense could be filled with a connection that has been with you all along and could become both a friend and an ally that would support you, heal you, and empower you to make a difference to the world you live in? See, I think it's time we stop searching, that we come to our senses and we remember who we truly are. A species of nature, not separate, not superior, but included and equal. The same forces that created Earth created us. We're so deeply interconnected with this planet that has shaped who we are and sustains who we are. That's why I believe we have the power to enhance both our own well-being and that of the planet when we create a personal connection to nature. Safeguarding the Earth should be more than just a checklist of duties that we fulfill in order to earn that good citizen label. In addition to all of that, let's strive to foster a meaningful bond with the Earth that has the power to heal us, and in return, it increases our desire to reciprocate. It is time we remember that we are nature, that we come home to nature, we befriend nature, because then we can all rise up stronger together. And the good news is, this process actually requires very little effort, which is a relief, yes. Life is already very demanding. We live in such a complex world, manufactured by this maze of social constructs that tell us who we should be, how we should act, what we should do in order to fit in. It is no wonder so many people are suffering in silence, or basically masking just to fit in. So let's invite nature into our lives to help us grow authentically. Because unlike the human world, the natural world has no unnecessary expectations of you, doesn't need you to change in order to fit in, won't judge you or offer you any unsolicited advice. No, nature holds a peaceful, welcoming space that you can lean into, that calms your nervous system and actually allows you to tune into your own voice of clarity and knowing. And nature celebrates uniqueness because, and this is a good one, diversity strengthens the ecosystems on our planet. So you get to rest easy in nature, knowing that you simply belong exactly as you are. And scientifically, there is so much fascinating research that continues to go on that uncovers this forgotten connection that we have with the Earth. For instance, did you know that birdsong can activate your parasympathetic nervous system? Scientists suggest that this traces back to our evolutionary past, where birdsong would have signaled safety to our ancestors who were living directly in the wild, because it meant there were no predators around. So that bird you hear singing, it's not just a pretty sound. It's a message of connection and safety. So my friendship with nature began when I found simple solace in slowing down and lifting my head to notice my surroundings. I was in a time of turmoil, really struggling. I was supporting a beloved family member with terminal cancer and navigating new motherhood at the same time. So it was a lot, and I was frightened. and the outdoors seemed to offer me a kind of invitation. Now, I hadn't heard of forest bathing or mindful walking. I was simply in need of respite. So I accepted that invitation, and a bond began to grow with the outdoors. That time had such a deeply profound impact on my mental health, my well-being, my sense of self, my place in the world. I experience an immense sense of aliveness in the outdoors, and I've gained a lifelong friend. 8 years on, I've built an entire career out of guiding other people out into nature to find their own connection and friendship with nature. So how do you make this acquaintance with nature? And if it's so important and effective, why aren't we all doing it already? Well, we do need to address the stigma first that surrounds nature connection, because you may very well be thinking like, oh, isn't that more for spiritual hippie types? And that stereotype does a really good job at maintaining our distance from the natural world. We label it woo-woo and it stays out of the mainstream. And in a society that wants us to keep consuming, it would be bad for business if we found connection, meaning, simple joy in the freely available natural world. And yet, us humans, we seek connection, don't we? We're wired for it. We come into this world learning lessons about human connection, with manners and values ingrained into us as a child about respect, reciprocity, gratitude for all of the people in our lives. So let's personify nature for a moment and acknowledge our sort of severing, our distance. It's like the worst divorce case in history. Such a far cry from the relationship our early ancestors would have had with the earth when it was still revered as sacred rather than merely a commodity. Healthy relationships need reciprocity, the act of giving and receiving to survive. It is the offering of time, attention, and appreciation that grows the bond initially. And this is what is often missing from our perception of connection with nature, because people will say to me, oh, but I spend loads of time in nature. And I have to ask the question, yeah, but are you spending time with nature? Because so often, nature gets shoved into the background of our awareness. It's like white noise. And our attention is commanded by technology, people, pets, busy mind, distraction, you name it. Then nature is just a pretty backdrop for our pleasure, and there's zero connection going on. So let's come to our senses. And I mean that both metaphorically and literally, because connecting with your senses is the gateway to engaging with the natural world. I like to call it an unspoken conversation, because you are receiving messages and communication through your senses. There's no need for words. So recently I was walking with a client who was grieving the sudden loss of her devoted husband. And together we explored this notion, this idea that nature might provide a unique friendship and offer solace in ways that humans might not. I watched her sit against a tree and engage her senses. She had that unspoken conversation, and I saw the beginnings of a friendship form. And afterwards, she shared with me that she couldn't remember the last time she felt so peaceful and at ease. And because of that, she wanted to grow her connection further. Now, we already know that we receive abundantly from the earth, but pledging your friendship, offering your time, attention, appreciation, opens you up to far greater rewards. Forest bathing studies in Japan have revealed that connection to nature regulates your heart rate, your blood pressure. It lowers your cortisol levels. It's a brilliant stress reliever and is a significant benefit for people suffering with anxiety and depression. Also, nature is a fantastic teacher. When you take the time to notice and observe, you will witness displays of resilience, resourcefulness, diversity, connection, community, collaboration. Nature can teach and inspire us on our own journey of growth. But if you're not going to chuck in your current life and go live off grid, then where do you start? Well, I want you to know that you don't need to be spiritual or experienced in meditation. You don't need to venture off into the wilderness. You don't need to live in the countryside. You also don't need to take your clothes off, as many people think you do with forest bathing. You only need the desire to want to feel better. And with that, maybe you want the planet to feel better as well. And you're open to meeting a wonderful new friend. You see, when you come to your senses, you will realize that there are endless opportunities to connect with nature, and that can happen wherever you are. And like all relationships, it's better to go slow. So the next time you're outside, try taking off your headphones to listen to the birds instead. Remember, connection and safety. Or sit in your garden or on a park bench for 3 minutes to begin with, without distraction, and engage with your senses. Have that unspoken conversation. Or go for a walk and let nature guide you instead of your phone. Sowing the seed of your friendship is as simple as that. So we can all do it. And imagine the potential ripple effect if we all have a special bond with the earth. Now, I know that there are some huge problems in the world, issues that feel insurmountable and out of your control. But I want you to know that you're not powerless. You have this untapped source of well-being, vitality, and power waiting outside for you right now. A friend, ally, wing woman, wing man, whatever you want to call this new friendship, that wants to unite with you, wants you to be well so that you can both be stronger and thrive together in the journey of your shared evolution. Thank you.